What is up, everybody? What is up? Ronald in the house. Franco, thanks for stopping by. Kind of a little bit of an impromptu um, live stream, but just bear with me. I want to make sure everything's coming through just fine. If you guys could let me know in the live stream chat, that would be great. Okay, here we go. So, what is happening, everybody? We'll just kind of make this pretty quick. I thought I would just give a little market update on what exactly is going on. Chris in the house, Gray Elephant. Good to see you guys here. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Okay, it looks like everybody can hear me just fine. Packable in the house. What's up, buddy? All right. So, since you guys are here, let's just get this show on the road. All right. So, we'll take a quick look at Bitcoin and just to try to figure out, where Bitcoin's going. And then we can get into some of your favorite cryptos that you can plug in the live stream chat. We've got Crypto Airborne in the house, Captain Kirk, Roam. Thanks, guys. VGX is tanking. Wondering if there's some bad news. Well, we can certainly look into the price action. But right now, Bitcoin is looking pretty decent. So bear with me one second. It is kind of trading in this quasi rising wedge channel. I don't really know what to call it. Technically, this channel or wedge is squeezing, so we do know that much. Right now, price action is hung up on this 50 moving average. Bitcoin is trading right at $45,886 at this point in time. Really, I would have liked to see price action climb a little bit higher. And if we get rejected at these current levels or around these current levels, we are likely to see a corrective wave at least down to the 36,500, if not down to this 26,000, $24,000 level if failure occurs right in here. So let's take a peek at this daily and see what exactly is going on with Bitcoin. Well, I was just on Bitcoin Renegade's channel and we were kind of discussing how Bitcoin at this point in time is forming this symmetrical triangle on this bull flag pole. The one thing that I am concerned about is the fact that this Ichimoku cloud is kind of farther away than I'd like it to be. But if we start to see Bitcoin just take off like this, we'll just see this cloud thin out and follow it. So I'm really hoping that Bitcoin can get its act together and just start shake and baking to the upside. So we need to get above this 50 or this 200 moving average, above 48,000. Once we can cement a position above that level, I think we're looking pretty good. So that's kind of where Bitcoin is. And I want to just show you guys the Bitcoin market cap dominance, and it's just playing this solidly. It really is. So we can see how Bitcoin really is playing into this this descending triangle, and the next Fibonacci time sequence isn't until November 8th, November 9th of 2022. So I do think that we wouldn't see a squeeze all the way down to here. I would think that we'd see something like this happen, or maybe price would break and then we'd see a reversal like that. Too early to tell. But with that said, Bitcoin market cap dominance is on the decline and almost about to really pull a it's about to pull. I'm having a brain fart here, folks. It is It's about to pull a death cross. I can't. How come I can't remember? How come I couldn't have remembered that? It's been a long day for sure. So with that said, that's where dominance is at. I'll take a quick peek at these comments here. Short-term FUD, Franco, nothing to worry about. Hey, CA. We got means alt season. What's up, arcade fan? Thanks everybody for being here tonight. So let's just look at ETH. Since we are here, ETH's got this glorious Elliott wave theory to the upside. And right now it is stopped at the 200 moving average on the daily. So I think that there might be this chance that, obviously if Bitcoin takes off, we might see ETH kind of do one of these moves. And this might be a good indication too that we are gearing up to see the market kind of retrace a little bit. And we could possibly be just waiting for ETH price action to pull an ABC corrective wave before it bounces again. So, going into April, this is going to be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. I do think that a lot of investors have the mindset sell in May and go away. So we will see if April is a bullish month for the market. Let's just go ahead and look at some of these other ones. Here's CKB on the daily. So CKB is looking super good. Right now we have this 50 moving average. It's starting to thin out. CKB is more than halfway through the Ichimoku cloud. And it's probably at this point, if everything goes well with the market, going to make it and come up to test this 0.0168-ish level. My guess would be that we might see a little snafu here and then a run up to this 200 moving average. So I think that CKB right now, it's looking good. I think we're going to see these 0.016 levels, maybe even the 0.0197-ish levels. It's just going to really depend. But for now, I think that as long as CKB can continue to make these gains upward and cement itself above the Ichimoku cloud on the daily, we're going to be sitting pretty good. So let's just look at, why don't you guys just go ahead and plug your cryptos that you want to look at. I appreciate the kind words, Chetan, more than you know. So thank you guys for that. Marcos is in the house now. What's up, buddy? And yeah, just plug your cryptos, Captain Kirk. Thank you for that. You totally didn't have to do that. But yeah, we'll look at Jasmine here right now. Right. I hope. Is this it? Jasmine USD. Let me know in the comments section. I think this is it, right? So I'm going to just bring this down so everybody can see. So Jasmine has really on this daily done some work trying to push its way through this Ichimoku cloud. This is interesting to really see. Typically, when we encounter thicker parts of the Ichimoku cloud, we will see price action really kind of have a difficult time. And this is a total fake out here. This is insane because this formed like the perfect bull pennant. And I would have definitely been looking for a breakout to the upside here. But for now, there is somewhat of maybe a bull flag possibly forming with Jasmine. Let's look at this here. So I would expect this to possibly come down to 0.01256-ish and check up with this 50 moving average. Now, this is going to be an interesting play here because we might see Jasmine really start to bounce somewhere around April 12th-ish, somewhere in there. If we come back in here maybe get a bounce. There is this really thin part of the Ichimoku cloud around April 12th, April 19th, somewhere in there. If Jasmine can bounce through this part of the cloud, this thin part, I do think that it might set up for a nice bullish pattern to the upside. Currently, this thing is working out an ABC corrective wave on the daily. Let's look at this thing on the week. I'm not sure if any clouds will show up. I didn't think so. Let's look at this on the 12-hour. Yeah, so this is looking to me like if this breaks 0.025 and then it comes down to break 0.0225, this thing could be headed down to 0.019 ish, somewhere in that region. So just my thoughts on this, but I do suspect that this 61.8 is going to be a target for this retracement here. So thank you for the $5. I totally appreciate it. And we'll look at ADA. We'll look at Kava, which is now on Voyager. Very nice. Let's go ahead and look at Voyager, because I know somebody had mentioned that. I haven't been following crypto too heavily today. But yeah, Voyager, man, with this whole event and this whole overreaction of the news and whatnot, I do think that we are going to see Voyager at this point in time come down to this $1.70 level. I really do think that. And let's just go ahead and just pull this up on the daily, because until, let's see, March 29th, Voyager token had done like the hardest work ever. And this thing was on its way up to test this 200 moving average around this $2.50 level. But then, of course, all this news about New Jersey cease and desist and blah, 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 blah happened. And it really just kind of broke this price down. You can see the last 3-4 days, price action has really been hanging up on this 50 moving average, but we have lost the position above this Ichimoku cloud on the daily chart. It's hard enough to break through the Ichimoku cloud on the daily chart as it is. So it's kind of a blow when you see a nice clearing above the cloud and then we fall back into it. So I wouldn't be trading Voyager token personally until this thing clears this cloud, because if things get bad, I think this $1.52 region may in fact be a possibility. And I say that because right now, there could possibly be some sort of head and shoulders pattern with this neckline that could be forming. And that's something that we want to make sure doesn't form. So if Voyager token can get the bounce off this 50, which I hope it does for the holders of VGX sake, this thing will have a very easy bounce above the Ichimoku cloud. But it's not looking the best for Voyager token in the circumstances. This thing can fall quite a ways simply because of the position where price is, where it is relative to this 50 and 200 moving average. This is going to be something that we're going to keep an eye on, possibly on these live streams. So it could come down and test this floor at $1.46, possibly. So that's just my thoughts on Voyager. We've got ADA. Cardano is about to break free from this Ichimoku cloud. So at this point in time, Cardano is setting up or has breached this Ichimoku cloud. This is exactly what we want Voyager token to do, but Voyager token had already did it. But we want to see the next few days some solid candle closes above this Ichimoku cloud. And Cardano Cardano can come down to this dollar level after this. I could care less. As long as it stays above this Ichimoku cloud, I do think that this thing might be setting up for a little run to maybe this $1.46 ish level if we break past this level here. So this would be the 382 on a Fibonacci extension, and the 61.8 would be up here. So yeah, it's interesting to look at Cardano. I think Cardano's in a very good position to come up and hit this $200.45, and if it fails at this 382, we can fail down to maybe this 50 moving average or something like that. Take the next bounce up. So yeah, it's looking good for Cardano in my opinion. XTZ is about to break out. Let's take a look at that. We got here it is on Coinbase. I kind of see here. I want to look at this on the weekly chart. What's up, Striker? Good to see you here, buddy. So yeah, it looks like XTZ is really possibly going to come up to maybe this $4.50-ish level. And we might see a little bit of resistance there. This is the weekly chart we are looking at. With that said, we are kind of seeing this widening megaphone that is kind of forming with XTZ. So this would be interesting to see if this could pull a 3 or 4x from here. So Airborne might be on to something with that one. Really, it does look like there might have been some sort of Elliott wave theory to the upside here. And this is kind of, on this daily chart, and this is kind of an unusual pattern to see. There was somewhat of a symmetrical triangle that had kind of formed right here. That's very poorly done, but you guys can maybe see my drift here. So it's interesting to see that it got the bounce here. But let's just throw up a little time sequence since I'm seeing so much volatility here. I love volatility in trading. Let's see here. So, let's just look at this. When we look at measuring this swing high to this swing low in previous history, predicted a nice drop off here, predicted somewhat of a reversal point here. Same with right here, or some increased volatility. Same with kind of right in here within a couple days. Right here, perfect reversal point. So there was probably going to be some volatility increase around April 8th, April 7th, April 9th, somewhere in there. But with that said, XTZ might be looking to come back down and hit this 50 or this 200. Let's look at the What's Up King. Thanks for stopping by. Strika, Packable. We already did CKB. Let's look at GLMR. Okay, and this is trading at $5.11. So this is interesting. So I just pulled this up on like a 12-hour chart. There's not a whole lot of data here, but this thing has taken off quite nicely. What worries me about this, when I look at this, even on like this 12-hour chart, is the relationship between price action and this Ichimoku cloud shoulder. So if I had to say, we might see some sort of pennant or maybe even some sort of flag down to around this $4.18, 20 cents before going up higher. This is a very nice textbook bull pennant, the stuff that you want to see So, like I said, maybe we'll see something like this before it takes its next move up. I do think that this thing could possibly consolidate for the time being. And interestingly enough, the 61.8 is kind of right down by this shoulder. Even this 50% level, $4.34. So if you start to see this thing kind of trending downwards or something like that, you'll have a little bit of support at 467, $4.34, $4.01, somewhere in there. But right now, price action, in my opinion, too far away from the Ichimoku cloud. If this setup was like right here, I'd say game on. This thing's ready to go parabolic. Let's look at sand, and then we will hit some of the other ones here. So we got sand. We've got sand in this symmetrical triangle squeeze, pushing right up on the 200 on the 12-hour chart. So this thing's getting ready to really start moving. And there's a chance that this thing could come up to this $4.05 level, in my opinion. I really want to look at this on the daily, though. Okay, so price action is squeezing on this 200 moving average. I'm hoping that we don't see the bottom fall off on this, because that could really mean that we are in some sort of death cross situation. It's usually never a good idea to trade within the Ichimoku cloud, especially with a type of setup like this. I do think that, you know, this thing could come up to this $4.05 on the daily. That's where we want to see it go. RSI is kind of flatlining into like a bull pennant. So that might be a good indication that you're going to get some buyers stepping in here, hopefully. So this is a tough read. This is a really tough read right now, because we've got the potential for a death cross and things of that nature. So if the bottom falls off, look for $3.24, $3.10, $2.89. And we will look at OSMO and AKT here. Osmosis, here it is. This looks like a very big squeeze right now. And we know this because we can really draw out the fact that price action is becoming less and less and less volatile. It's not swinging as wildly, but we are in this squeeze. So I'm interested here, folks. There's going to be two things that I'm going to do. Maybe three. We might draw a time sequence from this wick here to this wick, or this wick to this wick, or this wick to this wick. What I'm looking for is a time sequence to show up right around April 8th, somewhere in this time frame. And I have noticed other time sequences showing up around April 8th, somewhere in there. So this is telling me that we're going to see some sort of major volatility in the market April 8th. And when is that? Next, it's this coming Friday. So check this out. Okay. I'm not really in love with that. Let's just move the goalpost. Okay. We didn't. Well, let me just kind of move this again. I might have skipped over it, went through it too fast. Nothing there. What I'm looking for is just a little bit of an indication around this April 8th, somewhere in there. And I'm just not seeing it on this chart. So this March 31st was definitely a Fibonacci time sequence. I like XRP, and we'll talk about that in just a second here. So I do think that the squeeze is on the daily chart. Let's just look at this thing, though. Looks like this thing had some epic squeezes several months ago. So if you start to see this thing ripping, $9.69, $8.83, $10.91. If you can get through $10.91 and this thing just goes parabolic, look out at $14.45 or $16.96. These are going to be two important potential reversal points right around here with osmosis. The bottom falls off $7.50, maybe $6.78. All right, let's look at AKT next, and then we'll do like 3 more. Then I've got to hop off. Akash. So this looks like a clear series of corrective waves here that happened on the daily chart. Things are looking halfway decent. There's a little bit of Elliott wave theory move to the upside, quite possibly. But this thing is trading in the right direction towards this 200 moving average. I do want to just throw up a little. Okay. So you can see where right now price action is stacked on this 23.6, $1.39. So if we can break through this, you'll likely see price kind of climb up to this $1.68. Next step, $1.91. Look out at the 61.8 and 7.86 at $2.15 and $2.48, somewhere in that neighborhood. But if this price continues to climb, we'll likely see this 200 moving average kind of straighten out somewhere in between this 50% and 61.8, and then price action will have to test that. So let's do this. I want to look at a couple more, and we'll look at Elon. Dodge Elon. Is that it? Here we go. Doge Elon Mars. The cryptocurrency of Mars. Why not look at a meme coin tonight, right, guys? So this thing took off like an absolute ballistic missile. And now let's just go ahead and throw up some good old pitchfork action here. We might have to go shift pitchfork on this. There we go. Even that's not working the best. So bear with me. We'll throw up a little Fibonacci channel to see what's up. So right now, Doge Elon on the daily, it does have that textbook bull pennant. This is usually a nice bullish pattern that you want to see play out. So in relation to this Ichimoku cloud, I think that there might be a chance that this thing could possibly take off again. And if it stays or trades at, this trend line here, there could be a very good chance that you see this thing maybe come back up to this 2516, the last 4 digits. I don't even know how to pronounce that number. But right now, what's going to happen is if this thing trades sideways, eventually this thing is going to Fibonacci sliver by default. It could be that you get some sort of ascending triangle that forms here. And this Fibonacci channel is going to force price action to the upside. If we fall out of the channel, that's going to be pretty bad, and you likely see this thing suffer a little bit. But if the market starts kind of taking off, I do think that there is this chance that we could see this nice pump. But in respect, we can kind of see that there is this symmetrical triangle squeeze going on. So I don't know. This is one of those that it's another tricky one, just because of how volatile it actually is. But look for prices of resistance and support to the upside: 1327, 1581, 1834, 2196 ish, 2656, 3240. So Yeah, micro pennies is what these are. Am I bullish on ADA? I am, absolutely. And let's do two more. We're gonna take a peek at. And we're gonna do three more. We'll look at ICP last, but we'll look at matic right now. How many of you guys are holding matic? Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think about matic? So matic is in this, man, this is looking really good actually, guys. So right now matic uh, has this gorgeous possible ascending triangle that is forming, and this reminds me a lot of the crypto.com price or structure. I'm just going to pull it up just to show you guys because I made a shitload of money off crypto.com. Whoops. Of course. Is that it? Crow USD? Let's see here. Make sure I'm on the same. Oh, they're not showing the before. Oh, I got to try to find a different chart here. Hold on. What the heck? Maybe it was a different token. No, it was. Let's see. Yeah, it's like oh yeah. See, there's something going on with these charts. I'm not able to see past December 15th. Weird. Well, anyways, you just have to take my word for it that this looked almost like the crypto.com setup and price pumped from here. So I'm super bullish on matic right now, just seeing this. So thank you for recommending this one. Let's just go ahead and see some potential price points for matic if this thing starts to rip. This is forming a very nice bull pennant, bull flag, whatever. But one thing that we look for when we start to see this is, potential moves. And damn, I'm gonna have to do something else here. So this was an amazing, crazy ride for matic. I don't think that we'll get. Damn, I don't know if we'll get 15,000x off this, but this could certainly jump up to this $4.81 level, $5.95 level. If it runs the chart, you'd be looking at a $14 matic. If I had to, if I had to really look at matic, this is just a big, gigantic ascending triangle that is formed. And I do think that if we can stay within this ascending triangle, I think we are going to see at least a 2 or 3x from here with matic. And I just want to show or see if we can figure out any time sequence here. Let's just look here. Okay, so with matic, what I want you to do is look at June 10th, 2022. This thing might just kind of work its way up here and then start popping around that time. But this definitely could be a time to maybe pick up a few matic on a smaller time frame. This thing is showing a nice bull flag or a nice bull pennant. So I'm expecting this to continue on, and I'm expecting to see something like this possibly happen. At this point, there might be a brief consolidation before taking off, but this is a very bullish setup that we are seeing with matic, no doubt about that. So I'm bullish on matic right now. So thanks for that recommendation. We'll look at XRP next, and then we'll look at ICP lastly. Let's see here. Yeah, so Marcos, Crow 6X from the spring, 13 cents to 91 cents. I sold too early. Yeah, so I was making all sorts of like crazy videos telling everybody, you guys got to check out Crow. And then it like did this crazy run. um for sure. Let's see. I sold my Crow at a profit. That a boy. That's what I like to see. All right, so we're looking at XRP, and XRP, is kind of doing this symmetrical triangular squeeze, just like a few of these other cryptos. So this is a good sign to see this base form and this base really tighten up. So with that said, let's just go ahead and let's just kind of play with this a little bit. So there might have been some sort of a Fibonacci time sequence. Just make sure I get this right. Bear with me. TradingView can be so finicky sometimes. There we go. So just by looking back and throwing up this Fibonacci time sequence, we can see that it predicted a reversal right here to the T, or increased volatility. Same thing right here. And so it's predicting a little bit more of either a reversal or volatility somewhere in this neighborhood right now. I want to take a look at this on a weekly chart because XRP has been around forever. And okay, so yeah, XRP on the weekly. This is trading underneath the Ichimoku cloud, but I would think that there could also be the chance that there might in fact be some sort of uh, really wicked inverse head and shoulders that could be forming here. So, man, if you don't see this thing run and this thing pulls back to around the 66-cent-ish level, keep your eyes on this because this might bounce. And if this thing continues to get volatile and we start to see some money flow into this, to the upside, let's just say that this inverse head and shoulders doesn't happen, and then we just see this thing launch. It would be awesome to see this price action just target this really thin part of the Ichimoku cloud. We could see this nice bullish pattern maybe set up above this Ichimoku cloud, and things would be gravy. Because as you can see, what happens when XRP gets above this Ichimoku cloud? It just wants to start running. So I'm hoping that might be the case, but you might end up getting some sort of inverse head and shoulders bounce, something like that. So we do have an A, B, C, D, E. There could be a D, E correction that happens here. So if you see it start trickling down from here, the bottom falls out, just look for that 65-ish cents. Let's look at ICP. And so for those of you guys that don't know about ICP, this is ICP, and I have started working with ICP as a content curator. So this has been a dream of mine to really work with a crypto project, and it's just kind of been a dream come true. I tried to make it work with a few other different crypto projects, but I could never get anything off the ground, which is fine. But I want to just show you guys what happened here. When we look at this, when we look at the way ICP was launched back on May 11th of 2021. So where's May 11th? So there was kind of like a whirlwind of events that happened. So this looks really bad from a launch perspective, but ICP, it was available for I don't know how long that they were going to launch their native token May 11th. And you can see that here's the Bitcoin chart over here. This was like the last day. Prices were somewhat stable in the crypto market. And then next thing you know it, the bottom fell off and we went into that bear market for the summer of last year. So it was just unfortunate timing to boot. And that's really what contributed to this major drop off here. It's kind of like comparing apples with apples, in my opinion. Uh, just looking at that, it's a no brainer. That's exactly what happened. So with that said, ICP, I like ICP. It's looking good. I've been learning a lot about the ecosystem. I've been playing around in it, and it's lightning fast. I did a TikTok the other day where I sent some ICP from a wallet on KuCoin to like a to the NNS, the native wallet um, for ICP, and it was like seconds. It's so fast, it's not even funny. But they do got some really interesting decentralized messaging apps and stuff like that going on. They've got like their own decentralized version of Reddit, which I thought was cool. But anyways, getting back to the bread and butter of this, we can see that ICP has been really consolidating quite nicely into this falling wedge on the daily chart. Things are really pressing above this upper trend line here, and I do think that there is a chance that this thing is going to break out and retest this 200 moving average. And one thing that I just want to kind of reiterate too is that even though I am working with ICP, I would never mislead anybody when it comes to price predictions, things like that. It is what it is. But I do think that, a $30, $32 ish, somewhere in that region may happen. But this thing is very close to cresting above this Ichimoku cloud on the daily. So that is huge. And if we can see this falling wedge break out, you guys have to understand that this is a multi-year falling wedge. So this is not like some weekly falling wedge where we'll get a little bit of a pop. This is a multi-year falling wedge. So I'm hoping that we see a significant bounce to boot. Now, there is one other thing that if that does happen, there may, bear with me one second. Trading Views charts always kind of get a little bit goofy when we get these huge price swings. But there may be some sort of inverse head and shoulders that could possibly form here as well. And I would expect that, maybe we'd see something like this where price comes up and taps on this 200 moving average and comes back down to retest this upper trend line as support. These are just ideas, folks, of what possibly could happen. But if this does happen, be on the lookout. It could get really volatile, to say the least. So right now, I think that I'm still kind of waiting to see what happens going into this spring and summer with price action. But I suspect that there could possibly be even some sort of Wyckoff pattern forming. With that said, other than that, I think, folks, I've got to wrap this up. I only meant for this to be like a 20-minute video. But I do appreciate all of you guys being here with me. It's always wonderful to see you there, to see you here. And we'll try to do some more live streams this week. I've been trying to do more live streams around the lunch hour. Then I have been trying to put out actual videos on specific coins. So I'm just kind of experimenting with things. And like I've said in the past before, really trying to kind of turn this channel around. I want to still offer the same old, the technical analysis stuff, but I also want to bring, beneficial information to you guys about any crypto projects that pique my interest. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And definitely you expect to see some more Definity related material on this. I do think that they got a pretty cool project going on, and we're just going to keep exploring the ecosystem and learn about it here on this channel. So right now, I hope you guys all have a wonderful night wherever you guys are at in the world. And please, Marcos, get some rash cream from Crypto Airborne.